or you could be a 10, but what comes out your mouth, your whole demeanor makes you a 3. And that's the same thing I feel with Bradshaw. You know, you could be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but the shit that you say nowadays just kind of made me take a little step back and look at you as a person. You know what I'm saying? And you always speaking on other people, like, look at yourself, like, lose some weight. You know what I'm saying?
You're now watching a clip from the MarcWes Sports Podcast.
We're just going to keep it moving with the NFL.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers is in the news this week. Like before, like last month, it was all about Deshaun Watson. Now this month, it's all about Aaron Rodgers. It's like the main NFL topic that people are talking about.
The Tom Brady effect.
Is what?
It's the Tom Brady effect.
Yeah, absolutely. So I seen a stat too the other day that said no Green Bay quarterback has been the quarterback for Green Bay for more than 16 years. Bart Starr back in the day, 16 years. Brett Favre, 16 years. And Aaron Rodgers, he's on his 16th year. So it's kind of weird there, you know. So he still wants out of Green Bay, and there was all these text messages that came out this week. They had leaked to the internet. You know, be careful what you text because even that's not safe. You know, apparently he was comparing the GM of Green Bay to Jerry Krause, who was former GM of the Chicago Bulls. So if you've seen The Last Dance, like you've seen The Last Dance, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
and they definitely did not have him in a positive light, Jerry Krause.
At all. So you already know what Aaron Rodgers meant by that comment. So I don't see any way that he stays in Green Bay. If he does stay, I feel like he might even sit out, and that'll be the first time for a quarterback to do that. But I feel like Deshaun Watson's probably going to do the same thing this season.
Definitely.
But yeah, just your take on this topic and Aaron Rodgers, and obviously he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time and of this era. And the fact that he wants out, I could see him in a variety of different places come to mind of where he can go. I could see him going to San Francisco still, and you know, even though they got Trey Lance, I understand that. But you know, Trey Lance, I would want him to sit for a year or two and
learn from him
behind, you know, Aaron Rodgers. That'd be the perfect scenario. Look at Patrick Mahomes. He sat. Look how great he is. You know, or I could see him in Denver. Denver definitely needs a quarterback. Denver hasn't had a great quarterback there since Peyton Manning, and before that, John Elway. So that would kind of continue in that legacy. I could see that happening. So yeah, I could see him in a different spot. I kind of want to see him in a different spot, to be honest, because he's done so much with less. You know, he's got one good receiver that can't stay healthy, except for last season. Finally, Devontae Adams stayed healthy. He's got, you know, good running backs, but not great. Offensive line's been average. Defense has been average. So he won the MVP last year. I don't know how old he is, but I know he's old. You know, and the fact that you won MVP at this level makes me feel like you could still do it. I mean, look what Tom Brady did last year.
Exactly. You know,
I could see him in a different spot just like Brady did. So we'll see what happens. But what's your take?
Well, my take is the same as yours. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing him anywhere else because it's just like the Lakers. One, you know, I know I'm going back to basketball, but it's like the Lakers. I hate the colors. Green Bay, I hate the colors. I'm sorry. Like it's hard for me to watch them. Huh?
You don't like that purple and gold?
Oh, man, I hate the purple and gold, and I hate the green and yellow. I hate it. The cheese heads. I hate the mascot. I hate everything.
I agree 100%. To me, that's the worst uniforms in football.
The only thing I like about Green Bay is Lambeau Field when it's snowing. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time I like Green Bay. But other than that, you know, like they're making it seem like they're the reason why he's winning, when in actuality, he's the reason why they're winning. Without him, there's no Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? And personally, I think he's a better quarterback than Bart Scott, than Brett Favre. You know, like, so you want to hold him to give him what he wants. You know, like, come on, like, this guy is the MVP. you know, and everybody that criticized him, remember in one of our podcasts, everybody that was criticizing him, saying he's washed up, this, that, and the other, notice how he became the MVP at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? He's younger than Tom Brady, so you know he still got some gas in the tank, you know? So you look at this, I definitely do think it's gonna be, if they, right now, I think it's not fixable at this point. You feel me? It's just like you're with your significant other and she say your sex game is whack. I don't know how we can stay together. You feel what I'm saying? So again, I look at this situation. I think this situation is Green Bay Packers' fault, because you got a franchise quarterback, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, probably make our top. We made our list. I think he was somewhere in our top 5, if not top 6. You know, like, come on, you want to give him what he wants. When you have a franchise quarterback, a franchise player at that magnitude, you know, and of course we know in the NFL it's hard to find quarterbacks. You got a quarterback that's been healthy majority of his career. I understand right now they was like, okay, the last 2 seasons prior to last season, he played half the games. You know, I think that he played half the games because, going back to what I was saying, you know, in the last podcast, if I got a owner, if I have a manager, if I have anyone, a supervisor ahead of me, and they giving me lip, they don't really show me that they really care about me, then why am I going to go pick up extra shifts for you? Why am I going to put my body on the line, my life on hold for you? So you say you don't want it right now, it just blowed up, but I don't think that it's something that just happened. I think with Aaron Rodgers, and everybody know what Aaron Rodgers, if you come at him wrong, he's done with you. He don't talk to his family, his mom, his dad, his brothers. Yo.
He talk to his family?
He doesn't talk to his family. And some people gonna be like, oh, you know, like, you know, he don't talk to his family, so it must be him. Sometimes your family be the one that bring you down. Sometimes you have to, sometimes your friends be the one to keep you down. And as soon as you get rid of that negative energy, then you're in a better light. Right now, you know, Aaron Rodgers, you know, like, I can't say anything more about him. Like, the guy did the fake spike like Dan Marino over here in Miami, and completed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like what people need to understand, when you have greatness in front of you, I kind of start realizing that with LeBron. You feel me? I know Marcus was like, yo, like, damn, like, Wes, I know you're like me. You hate LeBron and you're praising him, you know, but again, sometimes you just got to go ahead and just put your feelings aside and just look at what it is. LeBron is one of the greatest of all time. I'm going to appreciate it, you know, because I don't know if there's going to be another LeBron. You know, there's no Kobe no more. There's no Wade no more, you know, and you know, certain people I like watching. You know, LeBron is a highlight reel, you know, so going to Aaron Rodgers, same thing. You're a highlight reel. He's doing everything with nothing. Marcus just said, you got mediocre running backs. You got one wide receiver that doesn't stay healthy. What happened to the other side of the field? You know, what happened to the O-line? What happened to the D-line? What happened to your DBs? Your defense is mediocre. Since Clay Matthews was gone, you know, y'all haven't been anything else. Dick LeBeau defense been trash, you know, for the longest. I think they fired him. And all them years, he's been one of these renowned defensive gurus, you know, this, that, and the other. So again, you're not putting him in the best position to succeed. And like I said earlier, it's the Tom Brady effect. Tom Brady wind up going to the team that he wanted, this, that, and the other. But again, I still blame the quarterbacks. All y'all quarterbacks that want to sign these extensions and this, that, and the other, you're not holding your future. You're like there's no way you can go to a great team without losing major assets that attracted you to that team in the first place. So again, like, you think they're just gonna give you away for free? That doesn't happen. If you learn from, again, the guy that I don't like talking about, learn from LeBron. You feel me? Sign 2-year contracts, 1-year contracts, put all of that on you. Now, again, quarterbacks can do that. I don't know about everyone else, because, you know, they protect the quarterback. So the likelihood of you getting injured like that is kind of slim compared to a running back or a receiver or a DB. You know, I don't think y'all want to go ahead and do that, you know. maybe you guys can sign 3-year contracts with a player option or something like that. But as far as the quarterbacks, if you know you're great, sign 2-year, 3-year contracts, player option, and put somewhere in there in a contract where you can't franchise tag me. So when I want to leave, I can leave. You know what I'm saying? But signing these 4-year deals, look at Patrick Mahomes, signed a 10-year deal. Like, is Andy Reid going to be coaching for 10 years? I thought that he's old. You know what I'm saying? He may coach half that time. But again, and the salary cap going to continue going up. And then when we get to the 6-year, 7-year, now you're complaining about a contract you signed 10 years ago. Again, you guys need to understand that. Control your destiny, control your future. And if that means signing a shorter contract, then sign the shorter contract. And that's how I feel on that topic.
All right. Yeah, I totally agree 100%. These quarterbacks are using their leverage as well as they should, because they're the franchise. There's a reason why they call them the franchise quarterback, because that's what people come to see. People come to see the quarterback, they come see the running back sometimes, and most of the wide receivers. That the casual fan doesn't know nobody else. The casual fan really just knows the person who has the ball in their hand the most of the time, which is the quarterback, and the person who's scoring a touchdown, which is the receiver or the running back. And those are your most valuable assets. And when they're demanding certain things, and I do want to mention too that Russell Wilson is going to be in the same situation. He's in the same situation, because they did nothing in this draft. I don't know if you saw that, but they had a terrible draft because they traded all their picks basically for Jamal for
the safety.
Yeah, Jamal. I can't think of his name right now, but you know what I'm talking about.
I think Adams. Is that
Jamal Adams? So they didn't have a great draft. They are gonna be on the downturn. That I feel like there's two teams that have been perennially great for the past few years that are gonna be on the downturn because they're not building the team around your quarterback. And Seattle is one of them. Obviously, Green Bay is another, but Pittsburgh is the other one. It's like, you are not building around this team. Like, what are you doing? Like, first, you had the superstar team. You had the three-headed monster that everybody wanted in Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and Ben Roethlisberger, who was in his prime. And Burglar, allegedly, that was in his prime. So it's like, I don't get these GMs sometimes, because once you have this franchise quarterback, you have to build around them, like what the Dolphins are doing, like what the Chiefs have done. They got the franchise quarterback, they know what they have, and they just keep building around him. They paid a man, and they keep building around him. Seattle, they paid Russell Wilson. That's what they did do. I'm not gonna lie. But
when you pay them, what's going to happen? There's not that much to get.
Exactly, because these football teams, they're like corporations, man. There's different departments, and if one of these departments in your corporation is not working well, your whole corporation will suffer, and your whole team will suffer if certain departments, like the offensive line, like the receivers, like the defense, like even the kicker, if you don't invest or address these situations, you're not going to get to where you want to go as a corporation, as a football team. And Aaron Rodgers has every right to have the stance that he has. Unfortunately, you have people like Terry Bradshaw that are kind of raining on his parade for his stance. So that's why we're going to give him the duck of the week of this week. But I'm going to let you, Wes, really kind of talk about what he said, because I wasn't sure exactly what he said. But I know Terry Bradshaw said some things that were not, in favor of Aaron Rodgers really kind of using his leverage as a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, basically, like, he's saying what he normally says. He says some dumb shit. He says some stuff like Brett Favre. He basically said exactly what Brett Favre said about Deshaun Watson. That's what he said. Like, basically, like, stay where you at, like, you're causing all this drama for no reason, basically do your job and shut the fuck up. or shut the F up, excuse me. That's what he basically said. You know, he didn't say it exactly like that, but that was his actual stance on that. And going back to these old school people, you
Good
know,
old
like
boys.
that old fogies that got that old mentality still, you know, that still feel like they're young mentally and they're not, you know. Certain people like on Bradshaw, like he always say something racist for me, you know. So before, you know, when I was younger, you know, I thought that, you know, I thought that he was one of the greats, you know. I mean, his numbers speak for itself, but again, it's just like a female, or you could be a 10, but what comes out your mouth, your whole demeanor makes you a 3, and that's the same thing I feel with Bradshaw. You know, you could be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but the shit that you say nowadays just kind of made me take a little step back and look at you as a person. You know what I'm saying? And you always speaking on other people, like, look at yourself, like, lose some weight. You know what I'm saying? You know, like you barely could close your actual suit every time I see you, you know, and you always saying something stupid. So I just think that it's just the old age, you know, and people, when you're old, what they say about old people, they could care less about how you feel. So the true colors is coming out, you know, Brett Favre, Bradshaw, all these players now, even when it ultimately come down to it, like, you know, Brett Favre, you know, I really feel like, you know, race plays a factor, because when Deshaun Watson actually was on this stance, you know, you had something to say about him. But when Aaron Rodgers, a white quarterback, is saying something, you don't really say nothing negative. You're just asking, like, are you going to play for this team? That's not nothing negative. That's just asking a question. That's not basically saying, like, you're a problem, causing a problem, and this, that, and the other. Like, so again, race, again, even though race is not what we want to talk about on our podcast, you know, we really want to just talk about sports, stuff of the week, this, that, and the other. You know, I really do feel like these two individuals, you know, always have something negative to say about, you know, people. You know, sometimes it be on race, but you're just negative. Like, you had your chance, you know, Brett Favre, you're considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I don't know how, because you have a lot of interceptions. You have just as much interceptions as touchdowns. Bradshaw, on your end, like, yo, like, come on, man. Like, people be looking at you, even the guys that's on the actual stage with you sometimes looks at you a certain way out of comments that you be saying, you know. And I know they're being politically correct because they're on camera, you know. So again, it is what it is. He gets duck of the week. You know, I don't really want to say too much about Bradshaw, but again, typical guy, typical old guy that is stuck in their ways. And when I say stuck in their ways, that's morally, ethically, you know. Again, you don't have certain morals. You don't have a certain stance on certain things that I stand on. Now, I understand people have their own opinion on certain things, but it's just like every time it just seems negative from you or racist from you. So again, it is what it is. Duck of the week goes to Terry Bradshaw. And I don't like your name neither, Terry. I never liked it. Anybody's name was Terry anyway. Same like Hulk Hogan. You see, his name was Terry, and then he came out and said racist things about on black people also. So again,
Terry Kirby? What about Terry Kirby? You remember Terry Kirby, right? He used to be the running back for the Dolphins, man. Terry Kirby.
He get a pass. He get a pass. He get a pass.